Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parrish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof? Call Parrish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and On Fire Athletes platform powered by GameCoin. Okay, y'all, good morning. Happy Sunday. A lot to get to, man. This is just such a busy weekend. The NFL draft is in the books. Saints did, in fact, use all 9 picks. I'm stunned. I'm going to have to go do some research on when the last time the New Orleans Saints did not make a trade in the draft. They stayed pat with all 9 of their picks, made all 9 of their picks. And I think they probably, I like a lot of the players that they selected. I'm my biggest surprise is that they did not get a pass catcher earlier in the draft. They did take a tight end late in day 3, but certainly thought that was something they were going to do earlier in the draft. By the way, Ross Jackson, if you want this, I'll post it in the chat for you. He's got a great comprehensive piece at louisianasports.net. So this is some great news notes, tidbits on all the Saints draft picks and a link to the article he wrote about each one. So if you want more, you get some top level stuff and then a link to every single one that they picked. So really good comprehensive place to get all of it. Talked about Kelvin Banks, Tyler Shuck, Vernon Broughton, and Jonas Sanker. On Saturday, they got Danny Stutzman, who was a tackling machine, great personality as well from Oklahoma. Quincy Riley, the cornerback from Louisville, is someone we highlighted in the pre-draft process when the Saints brought him in for a top 30. They liked him. He's a starting caliber corner. You got him in round 4. Round 6, you took Kansas running back Devin Neal. The UCLA tight end is who you took with your first 7th round pick, Moiliki Mataval. And then you took Fadil Diggs in round 7. Remember, Fadil Diggs was the edge rusher from Texas A&M who transferred to Syracuse. That's another like one of those former 5-star type guys. So in total, I kind of like what they did. But I'm very surprised that they didn't get a pass catcher or a wide receiver or pass catcher early in the draft. Y'all, Tiger Baseball takes it on the chin. They lose 9-3. If you didn't watch the game and you just saw the final score, that's going to be a bit deceiving. It was a 3-2 ball game after 7, and LSU allowed a 6 spot in the top of the 8th. And the really disappointing thing about it, man, it's like and thanks to everybody who may have stayed up and watched Locked On last night. The really disappointing thing is it's like Tennessee's a great offense. They're the most talented team in the country. But it's one thing if they would have peppered you for like 6 hits in that inning. But when you look at how that unfolded, you gave them a lot, man. The inning started with a hit by pitch. You got a ground out. Then they singled against the shift. You issued an intentional walk. Then you hit a batter with the bases loaded. And Cooper Williams comes in, gives up a single, and then a 3-run homer. So, I mean, they delivered the knockout blow with the bases loaded with the single and the 3-run homer. But, I mean, you set up the inning by hitting 2 guys, intentionally walking a guy, and giving up a single against the shift. So it's a bummer, man. So you go into day 3 now here of the series, the game 3, I should say, in the rubber match. And we haven't seen Connor Ware yet. Chase Shores did pitch last night in the 8th, or I guess he came in the top of the 7th. Gave up a sac fly, then got a line out. So he did fine getting out of the jam in the 7th. And then hit the guy to lead off the 8th, got the ground ball out, gave up the single against the shift, walked a guy, hit a guy, and then they brought in Williams. So he fell apart in the 8th. So my guess is Connor Ware goes today. We haven't seen him yet. Connor Ware, you're certainly going to bring Zach Cowan back, and you have, excuse me, Kason Evans available too. So, do you start Connor Ware? Do you start Cowan? Do you start Evans? I don't know what order Jay's going to go here, but it's going to be one of those things where whichever guy you start, and Ware, or I should say, Cowan and Evans are both going to pitch today, no matter what. And one of them may be an opener. I don't know what they'll do, but if you start Ware and maybe think, all right, let me see if he can get me through the lineup once, and then you give the ball to Cowan, then to Evans, that would be ideal. We'll see. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. Okay. Let's see. Anything else I want to touch on? Congrats to all the LSU guys that got picked. 4 offensive linemen drafted, which was great to see for those guys. We'll keep an eye on all the UDFAs. We've got a tracker up at louisianasports.net. So lots of stuff. If you want to check it out there. But Dellinger, Frazier, Swinson, all got drafted on day 3. So congrats to all those guys. And LSU landed South Florida defensive lineman Bernard Gooden via the transfer portal. So he was visiting on Friday, committed on Saturday. So it's great. Okay, y'all. Let's say some good mornings here. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Oh. All right, let's say some good mornings. Hey, Chef, good morning. Hey, Christian, Randall, good morning, y'all. Robert, well, go ahead. Randall said question about LSU baseball. Yeah, man, fire away. Robert, Bubba, Thomas, Maurice, good morning, everybody. Brian, nice add to the defensive interior for LSU. Great draft for New Orleans. The thing about the Saints draft is I certainly, after they took Tyler Shuck, so they went offensive line and then Tyler Shuck, I understand that they were going to go defense, so they got Broughton and they got the safety. Okay. I'm really surprised with the glut of receiving talent in this draft that they didn't take a receiver. Like a big-bodied pass catcher. So that's a big surprise, man. And I just don't think they're going into this season with Olave, Shaheed, Cooks. I mean, what else is out there? I don't know. But, boy, that really feels sparse if that's your receiving group. Mark, what are your thoughts on the quarterback from Louisville? Some say he's too old, has injury history. Yeah, we talked about him a bunch here yesterday, Mark. Tyler Shuck. That is the knock, right? The knock is that he'll be 26 in September, and he has had multiple season-ending injuries. So age and durability is a question. I also look at it and say, okay, well, you did an awful lot of homework on this quarterback class. You did your due diligence. There were people who loved Tyler Shuck. I mean, he's kind of, if you're looking for an NFL comp, it's Jared Goff. Tall, kind of skinny, long, but as a whip. I mean, and he's been around a long time. So you've got a more mature player that's probably a ready-made starter. Now, will it transition to the NFL? We'll see. But I mean, it's always a question mark. And when you're talking about drafting quarterbacks, but I don't mind the pick. I mean, I would love to be over the moon about it. I would have felt that way about Shedeur because I'm very high on him, but I think we've talked about that a bunch. And clearly he had stuff that caused a lot of NFL teams to take him off their board or push him down their board or whatever. I understand why people maybe aren't doing backflips over Shuck. Like if you had traded back into round one to get Dart, you'd probably be pumped about that because you were super bullish and aggressive on your guy. Instead, you let the draft come to you, and a guy you really like was sitting there at 40. So it did actually work out for you. I mean, I want to see the Saints be aggressive to try to get their franchise quarterback, and that's what they did. So, at 26 years old, he'll be 26 when the season starts. He'll be 30 by the time he gets to a second NFL contract, which is bizarre. It's unconventional, but let's you cross that bridge when you get there. I mean, Drew Brees came to New Orleans when he was what was Brees when he signed in New Orleans? Brees was 27 when he signed with the Saints. So, he had a nice long run in New Orleans, despite showing up at 27, coming off a shoulder injury. So I'm not saying he's Brees. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying I'm giving you a comp to say, like, you can have a quarterback in his mid-late 20s when he arrives and still have a long run if they play well. Randall, let's see. Say LSU ends the regular season with 17 wins. They go to Hoover, win a game or two. Does the committee count those in your SEC wins from the regular season? It counts on your RPI and all that sort of stuff in total wins. Yes, like that would help you get in the field. But when we talk about if you're asking about like being a national seed, for example, winning the SEC tournament could certainly help. But winning a game, if you win 17 in the regular season and go win a couple of games in Hoover, that's not going to help you be a national seed. So if it would be one of those things where like if you were borderline and then you like won the SEC tournament, it would probably catapult you into that mix. Hey, Thomas, Jingle Gate Day 7. For those keeping track, here you go.
Construction and roofing. At Parrish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Parrish built. Parrish built. Parrish built. From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
All right. Hey, Devin, good morning. Brett, Stat Dub, too many pass balls. It was interesting also yesterday. Aaron Beatty started, and he started the last two games when Ianson pitched. And I think I don't know if that's just a comfort level for Ianson. And you do see that sometimes where pitchers have a certain rapport with a catcher. And it might have been that. I mean, it's the last 2 weeks now that they've started Aaron Beatty when Ianson threw. But I tend to agree. We've talked about that all season. Mark, think the steal of the draft is Kansas running back Neal. Hey, Brant. Honestly, Tennessee's outplayed LSU 90% of the series so far. See, Brant, it's hard to say that because I know you feel that way. But you also can't ignore the fact that Cade Anderson was awesome on Friday. Cade Anderson went 7 1/3 with 11 strikeouts. I mean, he outpitched Liam Doyle. He did. Went deeper in the game, had a better, he outpitched Liam Doyle. Offense has been hard to come by, but offense has been hard to come by for both teams. You did get an improbable win on Friday night, but you made the plays. I mean, they committed 2 errors and you capitalized. So blame them for the 2 errors. Credit LSU for Dalton Beck and Curiel and Jones, all with 2 out hits that tied and then ultimately won the game. Hey, Gulf South, good morning. You asked for specific issues with Jay. Here's mine. Okay. Punting with 2 outs twice. Second year in a row, 80% of the bullpen should play for Delgado. Second year being a fly ball, you pop-ups are ridiculous. So a couple of things there. The bunting is y'all know how I feel about bunting. But in those situations, they're bunting for a hit. And they feel like if the third baseman's playing back, I mean, what was the specific? Hang on, I'm gonna give me 1 second. It was in the bottom of the fifth. You wasted the leadoff double. You had a leadoff double. You would pop out, wild pitch to the runner got to third. Larson pinch hit and walked. Then you would pop out again on the infield, and then you tried to bunt for a hit. I'm with you. I mean, y'all know how I feel about bunting, but I'm good bunting for a hit, and he was bunting for a hit in that situation. So I don't care that there was 2 outs. He's bunting for a hit. 80% of the bullpen should play for Delgado. Such is life as a college pitcher, man. Cade Anderson last year, I know I've told you all this a bunch, but Cade Anderson's ERA in SEC play last year was a 27. Now he's going to be a top 15 pick. So sometimes you got to, hey. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, you can go. I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, pitchers can improve. So do you take the young guys and develop them, or do you only take transfers and then you constantly have turnover? Kason Evans is a freshman who's done great. William Schmidt's a freshman who's going to be great, just needs some work, some mound time. And then I feel about fly ball. I've talked about that plenty. Hey, Patrick Gummalgan. Got to get the series today, please. Also, your thoughts on us taking Shuck at 40. Will he be our future? Man, I'm going to have to do a lot of content on AFR tomorrow about Shuck because we talked about that. That was like the bulk of the questions yesterday here on Morning Scone. Just talked about it a bit ago. And another question there. So we'll dig in on Shuck and get you as much information as possible. But again, I don't mind the pick. I'm not doing backflips, so don't mind it. Yeah, by the way, they've already started signing undrafted free agents. There's a tracker up at LouisianaSports.net if you want it. Aaron, good morning. Got to get a receiver. Brad, good morning. Why do you think Danny Werfel did not succeed in the NFL when he was good at Florida? Size and arm strength. Pretty commonality that doesn't transition to the next level. Hey, Aaron, good morning. Let's see, overall draft grade for the Big East, C+. Could higher, but that first and second pick mainly. Second was glaring in the face when looking at other picks overall. C, Big East, I guess you mean your Big Easy for the Saints. C+ in the draft, huh? Leon, Saints didn't make one move, used all picks. Can we say Mickey and Moore aligned for a rebuild? I don't know that I would say they're aligned for a rebuild. Not with the way they handled the salary cap this offseason and restructuring contracts to free up $30 million cap space to go spend. But they're, I think, easing in that direction. Good morning. Wonder what LSU's batting average against starting SC pitchers, not including relievers. They've been no hit or less than 3 of the 5 after 3 or 5 in the left. They've been no hit or less than 3 after 5 or 6 innings, a lot in SEC play. Not exactly. They fared really well against Jared Spencer at Texas. They did well against Pico Khan from Mississippi State. They had Kyson Witherspoon. They've been cold. I mean, starting with the Auburn series, no doubt. But you won the series last weekend, and you're a win today away on a bullpen day for Tennessee away from winning this one. I get it. My hope is that, and by the way, Jay sat Ethan Fry, and they started Pearson at DH, put a lefty DH in against the righty, and started Brown. Hi. Because y'all hear him. Hi, did you? Hey, Lance, good morning. Didn't Jay say before the season this was the deepest, most talented set of arms he's ever been around? What's the disconnect? I mean, Lance, they've got 5 guys that throw 98. I mean, you saw Shores pop 100 a couple of times yesterday. Rizzy popped 100, or is it Rizzy I'm thinking of? I think Rizzy or Shores. One of them was pop. Maybe both of them were popping 100 yesterday. I mean, it is. The arm talent is undeniable. The issue has been the ability to throw strikes consistently. Hey, Becky, good morning. Ray, good morning, I think. I think most of your listeners might get their wish say with Evans or Cowan. Maybe they might use one of them as an opener. Maybe open with Cowan. Because you could go Cowan, Ware, Evans, or if Cowan and Evans could pitch the whole game for you, I don't know. I mean, if Cowan could get you 5 and Evans could get you 4, I could see that. They may try that today. I have my reservations about whether or not Cowan could get you 5. Is he going to get you through a lineup 3 times? Or twice. That'd be great. And considering neither one of them, considering Evans hasn't pitched and Cowan's threw 13 pitches on Friday, yeah, okay. Your 2 best guys, you need to win game 3. They're your 2 best guys. I mean, they're going to pitch, whatever order they pitch, whatever. I mean, they're both going to pitch and pitch a lot today. But Ray, the point to make that's important to make about that is if they do start either guy, whatever, I don't think that changes anything for next weekend to say, like, if you're at A&M and you're winning game 1, 3-1, and Anderson comes out in the 7th, well, you're going to get Cowan or Evans, one of them, to finish the game. And so then that person's not going to be in the position that you'd be in today, right? You use those guys to win a game when you have a chance to win a game. It just so happens that you haven't had need to use Evans this weekend, and Cowan's thrown 13 pitches. Hey, Ashton, good morning. What's going to take to get LSU's offense going early against Tennessee? Not having a 6'4", 250-pound dude that throws 98 miles an hour on the mound. That'll help. That'll be a good start. The Mayo, good morning. Gwen, good morning. Appreciate it, man. Do you think the bats are in a slump or there's more to it? I think there's a lot to it. I think you're facing good pitching. I think hitting is hard. I think Tennessee is the most talented team in the country. The only outlier, y'all, the thing on the schedule of everything that's happened this year, like, I'm not surprised by any. It's just it's being swept at Auburn. I mean, that was just an atrocious weekend where you score was 8 runs in 3 games against a pretty average team that had a great weekend, and you played terribly. That's the outlier. Everything else, I mean, you won the series against Bama. You split the first 2 against Tennessee. You swept Oklahoma on the road. I mean, you lost the series at Texas, who's the number 1 team in the country. And by the way, you were up 5-2 in the 5th, and your bullpen blew it. You had a chance to win that series. And Anyway, I'm not sure that anything I've seen is a super outlier except the Auburn series. I understand all the questions about the offense. I mean, I get it, but part of it is you're facing really good pitching. Like if you go into today, Tennessee's going to throw a bullpen day. And by the way, they got 5 dudes in the bullpen that throw 100. You've seen a couple of them already. And you're unable to get anything going today, and they completely handle. I guess today they're going to throw the freshman. Hang on, they're going to throw. Sorry, what's his name? Tegan Coons. Sorry, it's an unconventional name, so I can't remember. Tegan, Tegan Coons, Kuhns, Tegan Coons. Like last week against Kentucky, he went an inning and 2/3, 2 runs, 2 hits, had 1 strikeout, walked 2. It was just a bullpen day. Snead pitched, Loy pitched last weekend, who you've already seen now, Tanner Franklin. So a lot of the arms you've already seen, you'll probably see again today, behind Tegan Coons. But he's a freshman righty, Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Does Shedeur get traded to Pittsburgh? I don't think so. I think Cleveland's happy to have him with a 5th round pick. I think we signed Keenan Allen. I'd be with it, man. He's an older guy, but big receiver you need. Brant stood for most of the game. My fingers and ankles swelled up from the sodium from 5 pounds of crawfish. It's so worth it. Let's see. They went wide receiver last year. As it planned out, your wide receiver room given back on the investment. I don't know. Has it, Matt? I mean, they took Bub Means last year. I don't know that you went Taliesin Fuanga, then you went Kool-Aid, then you didn't pick again around 5. You didn't have a 3 or a 4. Then around 5, you took Rattler and Bub Means. You had 3 5th rounds. You went Rattler, Bub Means, and Jalen Ford. And then you went Christian Boyd in round 6 and Ezra Ream, the offensive tackle out of Eastern Kentucky, in round 7. So, like, the receiver you took was Bub Means in round 5. I mean, that's not exactly investing in receiver, Hey, Megan, good morning. Let's see. Do you agree with Jay Johnson burning Shores last night? Gutsy move. Yeah. If you're not, listen, look, Shores didn't start last week in game 3 either. And if you didn't intend to start him in game 3 here, then sure. I think had LSU gotten a lead, and because Shores came in the top of the 7th. So, had you gotten a lead in the bottom of the 7th, you came back and got 2 runs. I mean, you brought him in down 2-0. But had you gotten a lead in that situation, you're going to probably to Evans to finish it for you. But I guess all that to say is, because of that, if you were going to go to Evans and your plan wasn't to start Shores in game 3 anyway. So I think that plan is probably kind of rare. But with the game going the way it is, Evans not pitching, Cowan only throwing 13 pitches on Friday, either of those 2 guys could start today, or you could run Ware out there again to start. And then first sign of trouble, you go to Cowan. This is the interesting thing. I think Shores, by the way, threw, I don't think they're going to Shores today at all. Even so, he threw 24 pitches yesterday. But, he gave up 4 hits and hit 2 guys and threw a wild pitch. I mean, come on. Um, I think an ideal. I don't know if this is what Jay's going to do today, but I think ideally, I think here's the decision he's got to make. Do you start Ware and hope he gets you maybe through the lineup once? Like maybe Ware can get you, maybe he can get you 9 outs. Okay. And then if he can get you through the lineup once, the combination of Cowan and Evans can probably get you home. Now you got a hit and all that stuff, but what I don't know if you can do is throw Cowan and Evans for 9. So do you start Cowan or Evans? And then somewhere along the way, you're going to have to rely on your bullpen. Or if you're really confident in Ware, do you start Ware after they saw Anderson and Ainz in the last 2 days, hard throwing right, or I guess Anderson from the left side, then Ainz from the right side, you go back to a lefty. And Ware, who maybe gets you off to a good start and deep enough to where you can finish it with Cowan and Evans. I think but the risk is if you start Ware and he doesn't do well, now you got Cowan and Evans going into the game with a deficit. I don't know what he's going to do. I would probably start Ware and see if he can get me through their lineup once. And, but if you have trouble in the first, he's got to come out. I mean, it's not one of those days. It's the rubber match. I mean, it's one of those days where you don't leave any bullets in the chamber. If there's trouble, you go get him. Hey, Leon, I don't see Shuck as our franchise quarterback. We're drafting one next year, first round. Maybe. Spurge, good morning. Adrian, Breeze had NFL experience. How is unknown in the NFL? That's true. Breeze was also passed on by the team that drafted him and was coming off a devastating arm injury. Again, I'm not saying Tyler Shuck is Drew Brees. So please don't misunderstand me. I'm just giving you a for instance to say, look at Jared Goff, and guy that was a first round pick, was a starting quarterback for the Rams. They effectively discarded him. He goes to the Lions. He's a really good quarterback now for the Lions. My point is, the only point in saying that earlier was to say the fact age shouldn't be a disqualifier for someone being able to perform well. It does shorten the span of his career. Instead of coming into the league at 21, 22, coming in at 26, which he'll be in September, it compresses your career, no doubt. But because so you may not get him for 15 years. I don't think you're thinking in those terms anyway. Kelly Presley, good morning. Wendell Norman. Hey, Scott, good morning. Thomas. Hey. Hey, Lou, good morning. Tennessee lost more than half the players' draft. It's insane they reload and are this good again. Yeah, I mean, they go sign great players in the portal. They spend a lot of money. But don't lose sight of the fact that LSU is really good too. Anthony Einstein was awesome yesterday. Cade Anderson was awesome. Jared Jones is a really good player. Milam homered yesterday. Daniel Dickinson was the number 2 player in the portal. It just so happens that Gavin Keelan was a guy that LSU was desperate to get, and he picked Tennessee over LSU. When you didn't get Keelan, you went and got Dickinson. Okay, sorry. Dexter, the Saints didn't do one or two things would make you mad. That's true. It's true. It was the only thing that was really going to upset me was if they moved up from 9 or if they took a running back at 9, if they took Genty 9. They didn't do either of those. So they took a lot of good players, used all 9 picks. They didn't take an interior offensive lineman, but that tells me they're probably thinking of shuffling the guys they have. So here we go. Scott, need to win today. I agree with you, man. Let's go get that win. Okie dokie. Morning, Matt. Go Tigers. Hopefully we can shut the door today. Calm some of these fair weather fans down. Still a good bit of ball to play. First pitch at 2 o'clock. By the way, y'all, just a heads up, if you are going to be looking for me on my post-game show, I'm probably going to be late. So I have an event today that's been planned for a long time. And it starts at 3. I'll be at it's the One Book, One Community series with my friend Jeffrey Marks, who is the author of Season of Life. And very much looking forward to this. He and I are going to do about a 45-minute sit-down highlighted by the EBRPL. So if you're looking for something to do today, if you're not going to the baseball game, or if you're maybe not interested in baseball, which some of you are, would love to have you. It's a free event. You want to come out. So Jeff and I will have a Q&A there for 45 minutes, and then open questions to the audience, and then a little meet and greet after. But the Goodwood Library at 3 o'clock today. It's a free event. So I'll be there. So I'll be a little late doing my post-game show today. Hey, Ryan. Hated that Sanders getting drafted kind of overshadowed Stinson being drafted. That's all they could talk about. Stinson. Oh, Swinson. Oh, got it. Yeah, that's when Braden got picked. Please keep my friend Madison in your prayers. He was involved in a motorcycle. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Brett. Will do, man. Very sorry to hear that. Hope all is okay. Let's see. Good morning, Black Connection. Toki Doki. Dylan, wonder who starts today. If I get word before we finish up here, I'll let you know. But don't know if they've decided what they're going to do. Do you think Deion's involvement in his son's life had an influence on the slide? Probably. All of that, all of the above. Disappointed yesterday's game. Today's a new day. I think I might have said this yesterday. The biggest problem I have with the Sugar thing is the anonymous quotes. If you're going to talk badly about a prospect and the interview process or any of that stuff, just put your name on it. Like, that's, if you want to say that and that's your experience, okay, put your name on it. The thing that I have a problem with is a scout or an assistant or a coach anonymously saying bad things about a prospect that is going to hurt their draft stock. And somebody runs that quote anonymously. Put your name on it. Like, if the defensive coordinator from the Bengals or the offensive coordinator for the Steelers says, we brought him in here, it was the worst interview we ever had. You want to put your name on that? Okay. What I have a problem with is just saying it anonymously, because it's going to affect him. Like, think about all the people talking about it. Jesse, morning, Matt. How confident are you that LSU can get a hit before the 6th inning? Pretty confident, Jesse. We've seen it happen in most every game this year. Hey, Randall, 2 innings basically decided the first 2 games of the series. 6-run 9th for LSU. Tennessee got a 6-run 8th. That's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, you were in a 3-2 ball game going into the 8th, and you came apart at the seams. They put up a 6 spot. You did the same to them on Friday. Let's see. Feel pretty good with Cowan and Evans on the mound. Hopefully the Bats get rolling against their day 3 guy, get the series win. Need it. Mark, David, seems ESPN was heavily invested in where Shedeur was drafted. You didn't hear people about Cam Ward. Coverage was excessive. I mean, they also know what people are interested in. I mean, you're all asking about it. And it was a giant topic. Wish the uppercut swings would even out a bit watching first pitch strikes. It's interesting. If you look in the LSU dugout, on the back wall, they have a sign. It's like 3 things. And one of them says strike 1. And I don't know this, and maybe I'll ask Jay next time I get a chance to talk to him. But I think he wants them to take strike 1. Take until they get strike 1. Unless that's for the pitcher saying throw strike 1. but that could generally be a way to get a pitcher's pitch count up, is if you take until they throw a strike. Which is why they probably watch a lot of first pitch strikes. Ryan, really were the Saints went defensively, got 3 great stoppers, and Devin Neal in the 6th is amazing. Okay, got it. Richard, Chuck's age doesn't bother me. 3 season-ending injuries due. 2 of them were his collarbone. I'd feel better if he was a 4th rounder or so. We used the 40th pick on wide receiver. And you could say you're not a GM, but the GM the Saints have isn't very good at his job. So, I mean, the results are evidence of that. Missed the playoffs 4 straight years. You have the worst cap situation in the NFL. Look at your drafts over the last half decade. They've basically been wasted. Or the guys that you've actually hit on, you weren't able to maximize here, and they've gone elsewhere. Trey Hendrickson, Zach Bond, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Caden Ellis. Anyway. Joe, I know they don't run much, but the scouting report says if you get on first, you run on Tennessee. I'm still in awe of how hard that ball was hit Friday night. Yeah, man, thank you very much. Please smash the like button. Honest opinion on Chuck. I've talked about Chuck now here for the last 3 days. Dylan, Matt, do you think they possibly start Cowan? I don't believe they might. Like, it's, again, I want to reiterate this because a lot of people have asked that question. I don't, like, they may start Cowan or Evans today. I don't think that's an indicator that they're going to move either one of those guys into the rotation. I think it's just the circumstance of this weekend where Evans hasn't pitched and Cowan threw 13 pitches on Friday and is available to extend. Like on Friday when they play A&M, if you need Cowan and Evans, you're going to pitch those guys to win the game. Like if you have the lead, you're going to pitch them to win the game. You're not saving them to start on Sunday. I mean, as you've seen, like this is the thing, right? This has been my point all along about Cowan and Evans. As people have asked, should they move into the rotation? And my point all along has been, you have 2 guys in the bullpen you count on. I mean, look at what happened yesterday. You gave up a 6th spot in the 8th because you can't count on your bullpen. So you're going to take the 2 guys you actually count on and move them out of the bullpen? No. Like, you need them there for the eventuality that you have a lead and someone can slam the door. I mean, that's why you've won games this year, is because when you've had a lead, you've given the ball to those guys and they've gotten you home. Because they're awesome. So you need them in the role they're in. And you've got good starting pitching day 1 and 2. You just need to figure out how you're going to push off from the dock on day 3, which maybe Connor Ware can be a little bit of an answer there. Hey, Lou, since Nichols, this team hasn't been the same team from start of the season. They've also played really good teams. Hey, Ben, good morning. Seth, good morning. Sitting at the airport waiting to go home. Okay, Seth, safe travels, man. Tyler, passing on Mason Taylor when you need pass catchers was tough to watch. Rattler, in my opinion, will be at least as good as Carr by the end of the season if he starts, so Shuck felt like a reach. I understand people saying Shuck feels like a reach. What we don't know is where they had him on their board. So, like, if they had Shuck as the best quarterback in the draft or the second best quarterback in the draft and had a first-round grade on him and they took him at 40, well, then that's why they feel good about him at 40, So that's, I don't know that. I'd be very curious to know. Okay, Megan answered that one a bit ago. Sorry if I was a little delayed on the answer. Lance saying the porta potty was Jones's kryptonite. The only wide receiver that stood out was MVS. You let him walk out the door. Like, that's, I had a big problem with that. Listen, you let MVS walk on a lesser deal than you gave Cooks. And MVS was great with you. And Cooks has been declining the last 3 years. And you gave Cooks a 2-year deal worth more than what Marcus Valdez-Scantling got from Seattle. That just doesn't. And by the way, he's a 6'4" guy that can fly. He looks different than the other receivers you have that are all 5'10". Yeah, I'm with you. Didn't make a lick of sense to me. High fly, part of it is the tape is out. It's harder to hit when good pitchers know how to pitch to you. The same is also, the opposite's also true, Ty, is that there's more, you can get tape and tendencies on pitchers, right? Great to see the 2000 National Championship team. Most of the guys were there. Ray Wright, Cedric Harris could make the trip. R.I.P. to Wally Pontiff and Johnny Thibodeau. I didn't know Johnny Thibodeau died. Interesting. Joe, AJ Russell, who was last year's Friday guy for the injury, will eventually be the Sunday guy. Not sure if he's ready yet. He didn't start midweek, so he'll pitch today. Let's see. Franco Nation, morning, Matt. Sorry, I've been missing your live stream. Been looking for a new job. Got one anyway. Hope you and your family have a blessed day. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. That's great. Congrats on the new job. Hope all goes awesome. Family's doing great. Thank you for asking. Bud Means, kid from UCF prior. Where's the return from the investment? Yeah, that's the kid from UCF. That's excuse me. So sorry. Sorry, y'all. I just fell down a rabbit hole. I just fell down a Saints draft rabbit hole. I'm sorry. God. Like, I'm just looking at the multitude of suck that has been this organization in the draft for so long. Oh my God. Anyway, yes, the UCF wide receiver is Traquan Smith, who was the bane of my existence, and I complained about for many, many years because he had this reputation internally as being this great blocking receiver, but he was never productive. They used a 3 on him, and was always this thought that he was going to be great next and breakout season. We heard it every year, and it just never manifest. And then they cut him and then brought him back. And anyway, let's see, hate to bring up a bad situation, but what Malik and Jaden did for Kyron's mother was awesome, framing their team jersey with 2 and a Lacey name on. I didn't see that. I'm going to have to go check that out. No, that sounds actually awesome. So, remember last year, whenever when Malik and Jaden got drafted, they FaceTimed with Kyron, and they were like, it's next year's your turn. I remember that really vividly. Should have been, man. Very sad. All right, please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. I may have to bounce here. It's 11, and I got a lot I got to get to pretty fast, right? It's true, man. Oh, man. Anyway. Man, I spent a lot of time. Letting a Debo walk will not age well. Let's see. There's also a walking penalty. Release Amati, Austin Jr., Boyd, Brzee, Foskey, JT Gray, Hayball, Hergel, Orky, Ridgeway, Stallbird. You want to release all those players? Let's see. Worst case scenario for LSU: win today, win one next weekend, one from Arkansas, sweep South Carolina. No, so you're at 13 right now. If they win today. Yeah. No, listen, so if you win today and get to 14, take one each the next weekend, and then sweep South Carolina to get to 19, I do think you'd be a national seed. You'd have a series win over Tennessee. You would have swept Oklahoma on the road. And you'd have two road conference sweeps in that scenario with Oklahoma and South Carolina. So yes, I think 19 in that situation would get you a national seed. And then see how they do in Hoover, where you could lock it up. But anyway, let's see. Braden, what's up, man? Good morning. Yeah, this is one thing we didn't mention. Curiel's on base streak ended last night. Yeah. Devin Neal, Quincy Riley for sure. I don't know a ton about Devin Neal, but Quincy Riley is a guy that we're very high on, the cornerback. Yeah, so that is a bummer about Curiel's on base streak. Yeah, he's incredible. But I don't know that I could say it's something you haven't seen, because Dylan Cruz as a freshman was better than Derek Curiel. For sure with power. Curiel he's got four tools right now. And we have seen Curiel homer this year. I mean, he had an opposite field homer this year. But the consistent power, I don't know that that's there yet. So that's the tool he still has to develop. And power is always the last thing to come. And it will come for Derek Curiel. On his frame, it will come. But Cruz showed up better than Curiel. I mean, Cruz showed up as a big leaguer. I mean, he was incredible. Yeah, man. Time to run a headline at the bottom of the screen. Your opinion of Shuck. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. It's 11 o'clock. Let's go have a great day, man. Have an awesome Sunday. All of our sponsors, linked in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook. Y'all have a great day. Got a couple of Locked Ons live. I got the post game from last night, and I stayed up like 1 a.m. doing these. So I would appreciate if you go listen or watch. But the one that on the defensive tackle, the Bernard Gooden, who they got from South Florida, and Dylan Battle going into the portal. So all that's there. Okay, see y'all. Peace.